Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Welcome back. And if you're new, welcome. People hear all the time, I'll be 68 this November, so this presidential election is the most pivotal election in the history of the country and our lifetimes and blah, blah, blah. But what happens if it really is the most consequential election in my lifetime, maybe even the history of the country? I think the most consequential presidential election was Lincoln's second term, that he was reelected. If he didn't, McClellan probably would have made peace with the South and the world would have been a different place, not just the United States, but the whole world. So what's the theme of this video is we can't stop fighting. And he shows a picture there of President Trump right after he got hit. And by a miracle, he wasn't killed. Just turned his head right at the right time. So we're just over 2 months away from the 2024 presidential election. The lines couldn't be any clearer. Even with the chaos in the last several weeks of news headlines have brought us, it's obvious what the stakes are in this election cycle. On the one hand, we have Donald Trump. He's never been the perfect candidate for conservatives, but we have his first term as president to judge him by. And that's the thing. It isn't like 2016. What will Trump do? What will he be like? He'll bring us into World War III. Well, we have an entire term. And it was just the polar opposite. Economic-wise was booming. It was much more peaceful in the world than currently. So we do have something to judge him by. Trump has been such a threat to the left that he has tried to defeat him at every turn. He has handled the legal challenges, the attacks on his supporters, and his attempted assassination with aplomb and determination. We may not always agree with him, and he may make us cringe sometimes, and that's true, and I'm a big Trump supporter, but he's no doubt that Trump is a patriot who wants to restore America's greatness. And anybody that says otherwise, whether you vote for the guy or not, or like the guy or not, anybody that says otherwise, that Trump's intentions are good for the country, is either mentally ill or just what they call those NPCs. J.D. Vance's Trump's VP pick is a success story that would make Horatio Alger jealous. His incredible rise from difficult circumstances in Appalachia, resonates with all of us who have roots in the region and shows what America is still a land of opportunity. There is nowhere in the Western world, or anywhere in the world for that matter, there's somebody with J.D. Vance's background. If you saw Hillbilly Elegy, I suggest that you do see it. It's on Netflix. It's an incredible journey through the American dream and sometimes the American nightmare. On the other hand, the Democrats have foisted Kamala Harris upon us. There's no need to rehash the whole process by which the party forced Joe Biden out and installed Harris with no regard for the voters who made their voices heard. But never forget that Harris never faced a primary in 2004. They disenfranchised 14 million Democrat primary voters. And those same voters, instead of being pissed off, they're going right along with like little robots. Just like Trump's track record in office, we have Harris's record of jugger on. We know what she did as California Attorney General and in the Senate, and of course, her tenure as vice president is still going. So far as a presidential candidate, she's been short on specifics. Yeah, you don't have to when you have the robots helping you out, the NPCs. Although the few policy statements she has made reveal her big government radicalism. Yeah. Then there's Tim Walz. Do they do any background checks? Did they do any diligence on this guy? Or did everybody that they asked said no, and Walz was the first guy to say yes? He tried to pay himself as America's dad, the creepiest thing I've ever heard in politics. No, maybe not really, but the nerve is that he's a heartland football coach who has devoted his life to public service. All I have to do is examine his record as Minnesota's governor to discover how dangerous and radical he is. I'm usually the one to avoid the heated rhetoric that exclaims that this election might be the most urgent one ever. But I can't help but wonder how pivotal this election might be if Harris and Walz got into power, and if, heaven forbid, Democrats gain the majority in both the House of Congress. What would happen? Will the Democrats enshrine abortion on demand nationwide? Would they strip parents of the right to raise their kids as they see fit? Would they put our free speech and religious liberty further in jeopardy? Would they enact a foreign policy that emboldens our enemies and puts us at their mercy? We came one hair's breadth away in Butler, Pennsylvania, from the whole thing getting flushed down the toilet. So I'm going to show you real quick the video of President Trump, and those of you that are really sticklers, former President Trump, that with 1/2 a second he turned his head, he would have been deceased. He would have been gone. And then hell would have broke loose. You know, it's funny. If that was Joe Biden or Kamala Harris that was shot at, God forbid, and I wouldn't want that, of course, and just came within a millisecond of being killed, they would be rioting in the streets. But if you notice, when something happens to a Republican, there's no rioting. That speaks volumes on how they think. So let's check out this real short video, and then we'll continue on.
Take a look at what happened.
Move his hair. Hold. When you're ready. On you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move. Go.
Up. Hawkeye's here. Ready.
We ready?
Okay, we are watching live at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, where former President Trump was speaking on the stage. There has been some kind of disturbance that clearly sets law enforcement and Secret Service into motion, immediately jumping around the former president in a protective mode. The crowd has been screaming. They are standing by. You can hear some voices there saying, "Are we ready to go? Are we ready to go?" We are looking at President Trump. This does not look good. I'm going to be honest with you. From what we can see right here, it looks like they are attempting to move him out, that he may have been injured. He is holding up his arm. He is pumping his fist, but clearly Secret Service wants to get him out of this situation. He is attempting to stand and walk on his own. He has got his hand pumping in the air. His fist is pumping in the air, but quickly they are removing him from the stage. This is happening very quickly. We are trying to ascertain what happened, but quickly we do know that immediately Secret Service was on him, jumping to protect him. Let's go to Alexis McAdams. She is there actually at the rally as President Trump is waving his fist but looks injured and is being taken out of this rally. Alexis, what can you tell us from there on site?
What'd you think of that? I know you've all seen it, but seeing it again certainly hasn't hurt anything. It's coming down to the patriots versus the radicals, and Lord knows we can't afford for the radicals to win. They think that conservative people like ourselves are radicals. That's insane. So what do? One thing is for certain, we can't stop fighting. One thing I'll give the left and the Democrats, they are relentless. Believe me, I used to be one. I live in upstate New York. I was on the local city council for 8 years as a Democrat in the early 2000s. And I'm telling you, I know some of these radicals. It's their religion. It's their whole life. They never, ever stop. One of the most compelling moments, as you saw in the entire election season, was when Trump got back up from his assassination attempt, shouting, "Fight, fight, fight." That should be our rallying cry from now until November 5th and beyond. Now, people say, well, that was a setup. And then Trump with the fight, fight, fight. He had that all planned out. Believe me, when you get shot in the ear like that, that hurts like hell. And why would you take the chance of dying I mean, we're talking about milliseconds here by turning your head. That makes no sense. But the fight wasn't scripted. When somebody gets shot at several times and hit, they don't have it pre-planned where they say fight. That's instinctual. Gives you an idea whether you like the guy or not, whether you like Trump or not, or whether you hate Trump or not, the kind of personality he has. He's relentless, just like the progressive left. And that makes them crazy. Any other candidate would have bowed out a long time ago. But he hasn't. With all the lawfare and the kangaroo courts and the indictments that aren't worth the paper they're written on. He continues with, I thank God every day that I have a platform where I can help spread the message of conservative values and policies. We here at PJ Media are grateful that you read us regularly and share our articles. But there's another way to have some skin in the game, and that's by becoming a VIP member. Now, I use this website quite often, so I thought I'd throw them a plug. And how history can change on a dime. Think of Lincoln. Think of more recently with RFK Jr. endorsing Trump and dropping out of the presidential race. Think of John F. Kennedy, who I loved as a boy. I had his the presidential portrait on my wall in my room, and a little bust of his head on a statue. It's there would have been no Vietnam. There would have been a lot of things that didn't happen. Who knows? The CIA might have been disbanded. It's just amazing. It's just on a dime like that, and one day the whole world can change forever, and not necessarily for the good. So there you have it. We have to continue to push. We have to, because the people that are working to tear this country down do not let up. They are relentless. Very much like Trump. That's why they can't handle him. Any other politician / political office holder would have caved a long time ago, and Trump hasn't. And they're madder than hell because he hasn't. They haven't put him in jail. Remember the mugshot and the civil suits with hundreds of millions of dollars. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I know it's tough. We have lives, jobs, families, spouses, girlfriends, boyfriends. We have things that keep us busy. Older parents, but you can't let this one go by. I urge everyone that's conservative or Republican to get at least 5 people to agree to go with you to vote in November. At least 5. Offer them a ride. Bring them all at once. It's worth it, believe me. And if every person did that, promised to bring 5 people, the numbers would be astronomical. There's nothing more at stake than just the future of the country and the world. No biggie, though. It's up to you. It always has been. And that's how Republican democracies work. You pick the right way or the wrong way. I think it was that Robert Frost poem. I paraphrase it. Came upon a fork in the road in the woods. And I took the road less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. Until next time, God bless, goodbye, and good luck.